Hello, I'm Lori Alvarez, and I welcome you to Real Estate with Soul, the podcast. This is where I will share my story, knowledge, wisdom, and the legacy in real estate, and my family, all boldly wrapped up in one with you. So let's get started. I am so excited. I'm on the podcast today. It's Lori Alvarez. Of course, you all know that already, right? You heard the intro. And I have the most amazing guest today. Now, you can't see her on video today because we're doing podcasts differently. I love when we can do that. Alta Skinner, my awesome guest, is on the phone right now. She's called in, and I can't wait to share about who she is. So, Alta, I love you, and I tell you all the time, I can't wait to grow up and be just like you. Please tell everyone who you really are and what you do.
Thank you, Lori, and it's always such a pleasure to be with you. I always say, I hope someday to be just like you. You are just amazing and giving and caring, and so community-minded. Right now, I am really supporting the Laverne San Dimas Education Foundation. Mm-hmm. I'm president there. We are trying to raise funds. Our biggest effort for the foundation for the last couple of years has been wellness/mental health services. Now that our students will be back in classes in the fall, we really know there's going to be some great needs out there, and hoping that we can provide them via the Bonita Unified School District. So that's kind of where I am today. Yes. Just had my birthday on Monday, so of course,
happy birthday!
Thank you. My birthday the last 2 years, I've always been on Facebook asking for donations to the Education Foundation. Once you get over 13, like I am, there's really nothing you need.
You're so awesome. And you are so blessed, Alta. I agree with you. Like, I watch your life and I go, wow, she's surrounded by a beautiful family. She's surrounded by her grandchildren, and she has a wonderful community that just supports you guys. Like, it's just a beautiful thing.
Jim and I have lived in San Dimas 47 years. Our kids were little when we moved in. Jimmy was 5, Jamie was 2. We live in a place we call Skinner Compound.
Yes.
Jim and I are corner lodge, but it has been exciting raising our children in the community.
I love that. Now, thank you for sharing that, because that's exactly where I wanted to go. So here's my first question for you, because as we all know, I'm a realtor, right? That's my thing. That's what we do. We love helping families make their move. And one of the big things that we were doing this entire month on the podcast was talking about National Home Ownership Month and creating home. So, Alta, I'd love for you to just go back and tell me a little bit about, when did you guys buy your first home?
We bought our first home in January of 1966 in Covina.
Okay.
And stayed there for a few years, had both of our children were born in Covina. We then moved to Grants Pass, Oregon, bought a home up there, and this wasn't what we needed at that time, socially and whatever, so we came back to California, bought in San Dimas. That was in, I believe, 1973. And we've been here ever since. This is our second home in San Dimas. We've been at this home 22 years. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So first, your first house, not your first house, but your second house in San Dimas, 1973. Do you recall what you paid for it?
It was probably about $29,000.
Alta, you can't even buy a car for that price today.
I know.
And crazy.
And I believe whoever just owned it recently sold it for over $600,000. I mean, it's just amazing where it is. So a home is definitely a huge investment, and it's a great place to put your money.
Yeah. And I know you as well are a big supporter of real estate, and you invest in real estate yourself. Tell me a little bit about why you guys chose the community you chose, San Dimas.
It was, I had spent a better part of my years in Azusa, went to high school there, went to middle school there, and wanted to stay in the San Gabriel Valley. And like I said, our first home was in Covina. It just worked out to be that way. But when we came back from Oregon, I really wanted a place that was smaller. Covina is great, but it's very expansive and large. It really doesn't have that networking of small community and that volunteer base. Every community has a volunteer base, but San Dimas is unique because of our size and our population. Pretty much when you're out there, as you well know, Lori, you know everybody. Bonita School District in the last few years has just really broadened their horizons. It's a great place, and I think the real estate in San Dimas sold a lot by the education we have. Bonita Unified is an A+ school district, so yes. I think people move into communities now more than prior because of education.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I know I did a little TikTok on that, and I just recently had a conversation with someone actually last night, and that was one of the things that's so important to why Eric and I chose San Dimas, right? Was because we're like, well, we're going to have kids, and we ended up with 4 sons, and we're like, we need a great school district. And Bonita Unified was stellar. So I was like, why not move there? Because I wasn't going to pay for private education.
No, not when you have an A+ school district, yes. Public school district. Put your kids there. Save your money for college.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's really, really important that people realize that. I'm a huge proponent of public education. And I'm really a huge supporter of Bonita Unified because of the education component that we give those students. I mean, our kids go to colleges all over the United States because we have a great school district. And I think that's just empowering and wonderful.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next question for you, which is, I know your heart, like it's just the heart of what you do and what you love to help in growth is what is most important about the community, right? What is the heartbeat to you of San Dimas?
I think the heartbeat are the people. I think there's not a better community around that supports volunteerism. And I think volunteerism is super, super important, not only because it provides some stability to programs, but it's also a great networking source for social, to learn people and to meet people. I mean, like I said, with our number of years that we've lived here, I cannot tell you how many wonderful lifelong friends we have made in San Dimas because of getting out, volunteering, getting involved with commissions and booster clubs and foundations and historical society and Rotary and Lions Club that is no longer there. But I think that is so empowering. And San Dimas has always supported this type of activity. So San Dimas is just community. It's a community of family.
It really is. It is. And everywhere and anywhere you go, everyone knows Alta Skinner. And they know her heart and how much she loves to help and support people. I wanna touch back to what you said, the Skinner compound, the fact that you were able to create a space for you and your kids. Share everyone how you went about doing that.
We wanted at the time when we purchased this place, we had a daughter that was a single mom, and she was living at home with us, and she kind of wanted her own place to raise her son, who was only 2. It was not in my heart of hearts to let her move way out of our region to a place that she could afford, and she would be so far from the family. So we made the purchase of this house, this property. It was a little over 3 acres. We were able to subdivide, and in the onslaught, this house is a house on a house. So Jamie, our daughter, lived downstairs with us, and then we subdivided. And when we subdivided, we ended up with 4 lots. So our son took we have lot 1 and 2, our son Jimmy and his wife Stephanie took lot 3 and built their home there about 11 years ago and have raised their son JT there. And Jamie has been 2 doors up. Her home was built about 4 years ago, and so it naturally became a Skinner compound. And it is just, I just encourage parents, when you have kids you're raising, do the best that maybe you can do to help them out with, if you can purchase a piece of land so that you can subdivide it, or you can purchase some place where you can add another home or whatever. It has been so warming and exciting living here, watching my grandsons grow. I mean, they pop in and out. It's just exciting watching them bring their friends over, to swim or do whatever. So it's just been remarkable. And would I do it again? You bet.
Yeah, I mean, so Alta, when you bought that house back in 1973, that was my birth year. Okay, so that's 47 years ago. When you bought, or 46, I don't know, something like that. When you bought that property in 73, did you have that in mind at that time? Like, oh, I might subdivide this?
We did, and actually, this property was, Lori, actually, our first house was 73 in San Dimas. This house, we have been on this property 22 years,
that's right,
or last month.
Yes.
But did we vision subdividing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Did we envision having Skinner compound? No, I don't think so. It met our needs when we purchased it, by it being basically a home that could separately allow 2 families to live here and enjoy each other, but also have privacy. So that was the main part of it. But we weren't here very long when we realized how exciting it would be if we could let our grandchildren have the luxury of living in San Dimas and going to Benita Unified as their parents did. So that was actually the trigger, and it has just been wonderful.
Yeah. So I guess there's no challenges living right next door to your family. Then you just are having fun with it, and you guys are just playing.
And you can live next door to your family and still give each other space.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be in each other's space. And so that's been exciting. But like I said previously, what has been really, really unique is the ability to see my grandsons on more than just a weekly basis.
Yeah. I see him out there swimming all the time in your pool.
Yeah, they love the pool.
He does. And I'm just thinking, your son and your daughter probably love that you built the pool, so they didn't have to worry about that expense, right?
Yep, absolutely. And we share it gleefully. There's a couple of refrigerators out there, so the family all takes turn in bringing snacks and filling the refrigerator with sodas and water and whatever else might need to be in there. And it's a unique place. I mean, this probably in June we had at least 4 or 5, 6 gatherings out there with the family, barbecuing, swimming, just telling tales and watching each other grow.
I love it. I love it. Did it serve you guys well during COVID?
It did. It really did, because so many friends that I have were isolated from their children and their grandchildren because they were too far away and couldn't leave the area and do whatever. So I have to say, our nucleus for all of us was our family.
Yeah.
So because we spent so much time together, and we did math, but we were able to continue the social life that we've always enjoyed with the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
weren't able to bring friends and neighbors and that in, but we did a lot of celebrating with family.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So you have 2 lots. So that's a wise choice on your part, because that gives you lots of space just in case you need it at some point, right?
Oh, absolutely, Miss Lori.
You've always been a smart lady, Miss Skinner.
know,
Now,
wh-
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I think investing in property is. I mean, Jim and I, we own a duplex in Grand Pass, Oregon. We own a little home there, second home there, but it's uh, it's a good place to. It's a great place to put your money, and it has buying property and selling some has been great for us as an investment tool.
Yeah. I've watched people do it, and I know everyone just talks about right now like, oh, the market's so high and it's not a great time to buy and it's not a great time, to make that purchase. And I mean, Alta, you shared, you bought your house, you bought two, three of them, right? And then you stayed put, and it I'm sure 29,000 or $20,000 was a lot of money to you when you bought that first house, second house,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
right.
I mean, you're as a young couple, you're thinking, okay, you got to start budgeting things, and you're going, okay, okay. But you look at that market today, and like you said, we can't even. I think our very first home that we bought in Covina was like 18,000.
Oh, yes.
We
Oh my gosh.
bought our second one was up in Oregon, and we had I think it was like 29,000 for 10 acres.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then we came back down here, and our first home in San Dimas was like 29,000, and then we moved over here. But but it's been like I said, it's been great investments. We've loved the homes we've lived in, and I just encourage everybody to save your money, buy a home.
Yeah, I really am. I'm a big proponent of that. I mean, I'm like, please, please, please do it. It allows for you to be better invested in the community. Now, what I loved that you said, Alta, is that you've really only moved about three times. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes,
Okay, because another lady I spoke with the other day, she said it took 8 houses to get to her dream house. You got
wow.
yours in 3. I love
Yes, I did.
that.
And Lori, I have to tell you something really funny.
Please do.
When we moved to California uh, from Oklahoma in 1955, aging myself here, folks, our first home in Azusa was on Cedar Glen, right off of Gladstone.
Okay.
And my parents' second home was on Louise in Azusa, right off of Gladstone. Mine and Jim's first home in San Dimas, was right right over by Gladstone School on Florham, right off of Gladstone. And this house is is just down
Yes.
from Gladstone. So Happy Rock, I guess, is where I've always wanted to be.
Yeah, you have. Well, I think you're a lady who knows where you're going and how you want to get there, and you're determined to make it happen. I mean, that's a little bit of what I figured out about you. It's one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I connected with you. Is I was just like, I can tell you're dream oriented, but not only are you dream oriented, but you take it and move it into action and then obtain it. And I just think that's gorgeous.
Well, thank you, Lori. And I'm just would like to give a little infomercial here, if I could, for all of you that have enjoyed educating your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews with the community. Please help us support the Laverne San Dimas Education Foundation, so we as an organization can continue to support Many Unified to provide the best education and campuses that we can have, that we can offer. So.
Yeah, and let's touch on that because how can people do that besides just giving and donations, right? They can invest in their own community, shop
Well,
local. Go ahead.
right. We're always looking for good board members that value education, families, community, kids to join our board. We have an advisory group that you can also join. Will hopefully get back to our golf tournament this year. We just had a 5K challenge run, which you participated in last November. So we're just doing lots of things that is family. Our activities are family friendly, social, and the money all goes directly to the schools. We don't have any paid employees. Our whole basis of who we are is a volunteer group, So if you've got the time, or if you do have the funds, we're not turning down money either. So
We don't think less of you just because you send us a check.
that's right. That's right.
you're, you're
Absolutely not,
you're
because
just as
that's
valuable that way as well.
right. And it's with organizations. I think it's give or get.
Hmm.
It's time and talent. I think
Yes.
it takes all of those forces to have a really good uh, organization and a really good foundation. And Bonita Unified is here forever, and we need to help sustain and provide some of the activities we do. We help kids to send kids to science camp, and we do teacher mini grants. We do scholarships for the high school students. We do perseverance awards. We're doing some wellness things. We do. Teachers have bought some really unique items because they write a grant, and we support as many of those as we can to enhance their classrooms. So we do everything we can to help the teachers do the best job they can do, and to help the district provide a campus that is really secure and providing all the needs of our students.
Yeah, I mean, truly, honestly, like I have, as we know, I have the four sons that have made their way through Bonita Unified School District,
Yep.
and my last two, one just graduated during COVID, and I thought San Dimas High did a fantastic job with what they had for the kids that graduated that year. Like I was a big like, yay, good job. I mean, bummer that we couldn't do all the traditional things, and yet they were fantastic at just coming up with creative ways to make those students feel just as supported and inspired and congratulated as all our other students that have graduated. So, I mean, I love seeing that the campuses are coming back to life and that the students are back in school. The staff has been working really hard to make that happen.
And I think the kids, uh, probably more than any time in their whole life, are really, really going to appreciate their schools.
Yes, yeah,
You don't know how much you really like something until it gets taken away from you. And
yeah.
our students all lost their schools during COVID, and now they have their schools back. And I just think the kids are going to be so excited to be back on the campus with all their friends and doing stuff, because my firm belief is academics is only one of the A's for education. I
Yeah.
think the kids need the arts, they need the activities, they need the athletics in order to support academics. We need all of that, and you don't get that when you're home on a computer studying. You miss those other three A's, and let's face it, some kids go to school because of one of those other three A's,
Yes.
and they have to support academics because in order to participate, they have to get a good grade so they can be on the football team, or they can be on the swim team, or they can be a cheerleader, or they can do the things that they value doing. They can be in social organizations on campus. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just really excited that Bonita Unified does very graciously and wonderfully support all of the A's that it requires for a child to get a really great education.
Right. I mean, look at our performance center that they built. It's just
Yes,
like I love it because a couple of my boys were music and choir and
yep.
I love to
Yeah.
see that. And I you don't want to hear me
Well,
sing, but
well, and Lori, the other thing that's unique is our community, which encompasses San Dimas and Laverne. We have always supported majors, and it was a major AB that provided BCA, the Bonita Center for the
yes.
Arts over there, and
Yes.
all of that. So I just tell people, Bonita Unified takes it seriously when they go out for a major to do something to enhance all of their schools, and they've been very fair with the different proposals and measures that we have been able to pass. So when those majors come up, just remember Bonita Unified, the staff, the teachers, the different campuses have worked very hard to say, okay, we need to go back out to the taxpayers and say, hey, folks, in order for us to grow and expand, we need, we need different classrooms. We need to enhance those classrooms. We need this, we need that. So we are so blessed to live in the communities of Laverne and San Dimas that so highly support education. That's another great reason to live in San Dimas or Laverne, is because we all take education very, very seriously.
Yes, yes. Alta, what words
Yeah.
of wisdom would you offer for a young family, traditional or non traditional family that's just getting started? What would you suggest to them?
I think the best thing that new families can do, number one, stay connected to the rest of your family.
Mm.
None of us can raise kids and do the things we need to do all by yourself. You need a village. Hold on to your parents, hold on to those brothers and sisters and cousins as you move forward, develop your own life. Many of them, you will mirror many of their lives because you're so excited with how they've turned out, how they've prospered, how they've supported each other. But I really, truly believe it takes a village for that young couple to be successful and to have that support system that they need to be able to do and accomplish the things they want to do in their life. And they need the wisdom of those parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles that can say, hey, give them offer suggestions and say, hey, don't do what we do, maybe do this, or hey, what we did was okay. So go for it. But I just think it's that village atmosphere. It's that village support. Please don't go off and leave your parents and grandparents and all those people that helped you to get where you are today when you picked your spouse. Keep them with you.
Yeah, I love that. And I have to say the same too. Like my sister's right here in San Dimas, my brother's right here in San Dimas. My mom is just 2 minutes in Glendora from San Dimas, right? The only
Yep.
brother that I have that moved far away. I'm like, what the heck? Why are you so far away? You know?
Yep. And it's the same, Lori, when they start to have children of their own, they
Yes.
need that village, that
Hmm.
family village to
Yeah.
help them. Kids cannot have too many people letting them know, I love you, I support you, what can I do to help you get to the next page? Kids
Amen.
need to have that village. They absolutely do. That's the kids that are thriving are, I think, are the children that do have that village of grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins. And sometimes, not sometimes, but quite often, we develop a family of friends over
Yes.
the years in our communities. And those folks also are very important as
Mhm.
you raise your children.
Yes. Yes. Alta, thank you. You've been amazing. First and foremost, where can people find you? And if they would like to, when they want to support the foundation and everything that we're doing over here at Bonita Unified, where can they do that? How can they do that?
You can go on to Laverne San Dimas Education Foundation and find the foundation. I'm going to give you my phone number. It's 818-802-8532. I can be reached there. I'm on Facebook. Join me on Facebook, on Messenger. I'll give you my email address, Alta, NSC, at msn.com. Please call me, text me, email me. Uh, Let me know that you want to support the foundation or if you have some concerns or whatever. I'm here.
I just love that you, Alta, are one of those people that's like, here is my phone number, and I want to hear what you have to say. And you receive it with such love and compassion and a willingness to improve anything and everything. I love that about you. You're so awesome, Alta.
Thank you, Lori. You're pretty dang cool yourself, young lady.
Thank you again for being on the
Yeah.
podcast. I really, really
And and
appreciate you.
and thanks for asking me. And I love you. And you keep up with that awesome family you have.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.